Hello, and welcome back to Dozzy's Television Workshop. Right, today we're going to be looking at this very minty looking Denon PMA-450 hi-fi amplifier, which belonged to my mate Jeff. He's now replaced it. I think he bought a Yamaha. I'm sure it's very nice. We've got a phono preamp on there, DAT, digital audio tape, 2 sets of speaker outputs. Yeah, very nice. Oh, that's record out, that's input, worth noting. Double thingy volume control if you want to twiddle with the balance. Yeah, no tone controls. It's one for the flat earthers amongst you. There's nothing wrong with that. Right, yeah, so his complaint is it's very crackly, so I suspect all it wants is a bit of a service. The reason we're doing it is because he's given it to my other mate, Steve. So, yeah, let's get into it. What are we going to need? We're going to need my favourite screwdriver, which is here. Jolly good. Let's fetch the lid off and have a little look. He said some of the input sockets were playing up as well, and they're of that type that are soldered to the board, and the sort of vibration gets the better of them over the years, and you end up with a very minor dry joint type issue at the bottom where the joint breaks up, makes intermittent connection with the board. So yeah, right, 2 big screws on that side. What do we got on the back? 3 across the top here, by the look of it. While we're looking at the back, phono inputs, auxiliary tuner CD, DAT stroke tape, playback 1 and 2, records 1 and 2, and of course 4 sets of speaker outputs, left right A and left right B. Meanwhile, I think we had that screw long enough. Beautiful. Right. What horrors lie beneath? Oh, a good smattering of dust. I think we'll give that a little clean up, shall we? Because that's a little bit dusty. It does look like somebody's been in here before, look. Anyway, let's not worry about that. So what have we got? Oh, banging the camera as usual. Pair of output transistors there. Pair of output transistors there. They're hanging down from the board and bolting onto the bottom of these heat sinks. We've got a large toroidal transformer here that's in a nice metal can. Really does keep the hum down. These are the 2 select switches. So this is obviously our input board. We're going to have to remove that, or at least see if we can get it from the bottom. Just to inspect the joints along the bottom of there. This little bodge up here, let's have a little zoom in on that, shall we? Looks like it's a bit of an afterthought, really. See if we can zoom in. That's clearly the phono stage, but we've got... obviously they had some different ideas. We've got some super sound capacitors there, and they make all the difference. 0.47s and 0.33s here and 0.47s over here on the power amp. Obviously built with some quality in mind. Right, let's get a soft brush and a vacuum cleaner in there, I think. Well, it's looking a bit more sanitary, isn't it? Right, so I think the next thing to do really is to wire it up, plug it in, and see what the sort of faults are. So let's give it a bit of isolated power from over here. Let's get hold of the workshop speakers. Right, which is A and which is B. A's are across the top, that'll do for now. I suspect the relays are the relays here are selecting which bank of speakers, A, B or both, are connected, as well as probably doing service for the speaker protection circuit as well. So if any DC occurs on our output, it'll shut off the speakers, hopefully before doing any damage. Doesn't appear to be any signs of leakage from capacitors, so that's good. Right, there we go. Let's turn the volume off, we'll turn speaker A on, and power, and we want a little bit of mains coming in over here. There we go. And precisely nothing. Not as advertised. Oh, we've just had a click. Oh, there is an LED on. Blimey, they didn't go to town on that current, did they? You can only just see that glowing. Good Lord. Jeff's a great lover of music, so I suspect this has done quite some hours. Right, break out the old favourite MP3 player. Right, where should we start? We shall start with the CD input. I have to say, that socket wants a little bit of attention. Right, where's the MP3 player? Go in there, fire that up. Right, that should now be playing some music. Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely got a scratchy volume pot. Socket's in good. The ground on the left-hand channel. Ah, it's broken. Okay, let's try the tuner input. Yes, the sleeve part of the ground is actually missing. Auxiliary. I bet that's still stuck in a... Now, I'm going to turn the gain on here right down to microscopic levels, and we shall go into the phono output very gingerly, because this level will be far too high. Just see where the phono's working. Up. Okay, see what I mean about the volume pot. Of course, it sounds all bassy and horrible because it's got RIA correction in there, so that's working. Tape 1 playback. We want a bit more volume again now. Yeah, that's all good. And tape 2. Very good. Right, so we're going to want a little squib of magic juice in there. Other than that, we're looking good. Let's just pop the power off at on the isolation transformer, and there is that errant plug. You can see the outside shield part of it is missing. Right, is that a separate item or is it one of 3? It is one of 3. That's disappointing, isn't it? Now, I wonder if we can graft something onto it. One off another socket maybe, or maybe swap the CD input round with something else. Steve wants this for his office, so it hasn't got to be perfect, it must be said. One thing I am just going to do, get rid of the dust and nastiness from there. That's better. Right, so yeah, clearly we've got that port damaged. Right, yeah, can we get at that from the bottom? Oh, we might be in luck. So we've got two separate sort of bottom covers here. 1, 2 screws there, 2 there, 2 there. How is it fixed onto this piece? Only one way to find out. Let's get the screws out. And because the length of the other ones was a little bit, I'm not going to say excessive, but they were long enough, weren't they? Let's bring in the electric screwdriver to make my life a bit easier. Alright, and 2 screws there. Are the Denon gods going to shine on me? Oh, they are. Okay. Got a good layer of dust in there as well. I shall hoover that out before reassembly. Right. We'll just have a cursory glance round under the magnifying doodah for any potential draw joint issues. Looks very good. Yeah, very good indeed. I tell you what though, the joints on the sockets indeed are starting to crack up, especially on this end one. What's that, phono? We shall put a warm iron against those and just touch those up. That's interesting. That's been out before, I think. I think Jeff did mention somebody had repaired it before. I bet that was the issue. Now this socket arrangement may have to come out in a minute. I'm going to try and find another for it. But I'm hopeful we can sort of make a repair. Should be using a fatter tip really. This one I've been doing a lot of surface mount work commercially. So yeah, it's that's been out. It's a bit small for this job really, but thanks to Metcal's wonderful induction heating system, it's coping very well. Right, so now, can we do anything about this missing sort of earth section on this CD plug. Yeah, this is in a section of 3 here with the dat and the tape. I wonder, we've got some sort of phono connectors here, and I wonder if we can do something with the shield. It'll sort of take that off, graft it onto there somehow. See if we can fabricate a repair. It hasn't got to be perfect. There's no money on the end of it, as per usual, so you never know. Right, let's just see which of these inputs is in fact ground. So they're all commoned up, which is why it wasn't misbehaving for not having a ground on there. So it's that centre one there. Okay, that's somewhat interesting. I'd have expected that. I see. Yeah, I see. So there is, in the little slot, I don't know whether we're going to get this on camera, but let's have a go at it. There we are. If you zoom right into there, it goes into a blurry mess and won't focus. Let's come out of shade. Shade more. Go on, you know you want to do. There we go. So if you just, can you see there is a slot top and bottom of there where obviously the shield pushed through and crimped on. You can't really see it on the camera, sadly. So yeah, I wonder how this one works. They're all going to be a copy of one another, I would have thought. Yes, indeed. Indeed, it's the same. So, can I sort of cut this one apart and fit that shield in through there to make it work? Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out. Let me just get a little pair of pliers. Ow! It nipped myself. Let's just pull. I'm going to get a lovely picture of the back of my head. We're not. See, let's come out a bit. There we go. I'm just going to try and pull the earth pin away because it's clearly broken. Or at least one half of it is. Yeah, I see what's got onto the bottom ones. I wonder if I cut it. Let's have a go at that. It's going to break me cutters, isn't it? I can just feel it coming on. Let me turn this round again so we can actually sort of see what we're doing. Right, so I want to cut through that bit there, really, just underneath. So when I push the new one through, I can then solder it up and it'll be super duper. That's made a minor incision. Let's just get that out of it before it drops into something and shorts a circuit out or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Gotcha. Excellent. Right. It's just a little shard of metal. Tell you what, it's in there. Good and proper. It's a gentle prying action, perhaps. It's not clean, you know. It's obviously pressed in there. I just need to be able to clear the slots so when the new one comes through I've got somewhere to go with it. Oh, we're going. We are going. Oh, it's quite a large piece actually. Yeah, that could be an issue. If I've got any double ones, I could graft in place. Some of these out of the packet, I think. Let's have a look. Bit of a different pin arrangement at the bottom. Well, it might be a fallback plan, mightn't it? Let's just have a look at the grounds on this one. That just snaps apart there, I think. Whoops. Of course, the proper thing to do is to order up the right bits, but chances of those being available, about 1,000,000 to 1. Right, this might be a better candidate actually than that. Okay. Keep the place ship shape. Lovely. So I'll just pop the cover off that, look. That seems to be held in with a smidgen of plastic that's been welded into place. So let's just see if we can ease that up. And it's gold plated for extra gold platedness. Oh, yeah. This is completely modular, this thing. Look, there's a red and a blue, red and white sort of thing behind there to show left and right. Okay. I mean, it's got the wrong, obviously there's two on there, I'll have to cut one off. It's the wrong way round with its mounting, but at least that one, you see, if I straighten that out, that'll be absolutely perfect. We're in with half a chance here, so first things first, let's see if we can eye that up. Yeah, that's actually going to be quite good, I think. I'm going to jump in at the deep end and just trim this off. So I don't want two, obviously, I just want one, so I'm just going to trim off this centerpiece. Risking damaging my cutters. Necessity is the mother of all invention. Right, I'm going to straighten that leg out. Let's see if we can... You know what? It's almost perfect. Almost perfect. It's actually snapped into position. I need to trim that bottom up a little more so it actually sits in. But yeah. Let's get it on camera again. Oh. So we just need for that bottom section to push in, and it is just, it's where I've cut it, it's not quite round enough, but we will get there. This is looking very promising indeed. More trimmage. One other thing, that needs to be just flattened out a bit more because it's sort of stepping up and away from the cone, the sort of shield, and that's just going to be in my way. Let's just see if we can flatten it out a bit more. Yeah. Do you know what? It's absolutely perfect. I've just malformed that top piece when I straightened it slightly. I'm just going to straighten that out a bit. If I'm not happy with it, I should just get another one. I wonder what happens if I put it in through the bottom slot. I might be able to solder it up. Let's try having a look at it that way around. Yeah, it doesn't want to go in because the bottom slot's still got the remnants of the old one in, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it into the top slot, fold it up, and that's... you can't see that. Let's have a little zoom in again. Remind me to zoom back out, will you? Otherwise you don't see much. So that's the replacement one there. And this here is the little tang coming through the back. So I tilt that up, you'll be able to see. You can see original, new one, original. And it attaches to this bar here. So if I just bend that up, that'll locate it, and it won't be able to come out again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solder a link in between there and there, I think. Thus completing the circuit. So if I just attach some solder to there. Come on, little iron, you know you want to. And it has. Brilliant. I'm going to put a piece on there. The only reason doing this really is to stop the socket from pulling out. That's perfect now. Not quite, it's straightened itself out. Ah, okay. Alright. But nothing that a bit of extra bodgeometry will cure. Damn it, that just shot off into hyperspace. There it is, blast, I've broken it. Okay, well, doesn't matter, we've got plenty of them. Let's have another one and make a better job of it this time. Actually, I could just use that one, couldn't I? I'll just trim the slot down slightly. I don't think it's going to be long enough, actually, looking at it. Tell you what, though, it's here. It might be worth a go. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. This is probably the part where Steve will shout at the telly, don't bother and don't use a CD player. Right, that's looking good in there. Right, for belt and braces, I think what I'm going to do is just put a dab of glue underneath it as well. So let's get the old black super glue out. So if I put a dab on here, you can't see that on the top camera, come out, there we go. Just put a dab around there, push the new connector on, bend it up inside, solder the wire on. I think that will then be strong enough. My super glue's managed to glue its own lid on, never a good sign. Right, I want to move fairly rapidly with this. This black super glue, it's a lot thicker than your usual stuff. You know, the usual stuff's running like water, isn't it? This stuff isn't. Now I've made a mistake because I've pushed the connector I need to solder to through the super glue. which is going to be horrible when I come to solder it. If you've ever soldered super glue, you'll know exactly what I mean, because it gives off some rather nasty vapours which make your eyes really sting. Apparently it's the super glue boiling off and then sticking it to your eyeballs, so we're going to be very careful of that. I'm going to do that at some arm's length, so I'm just going to tin that up very quickly and then put that wire link in. Right, that's tinned. So I'm going to need some more activator for soon on. I did that when I built a kitchen. It's their Mitafix adhesive and it's the accelerant for that, but it works great on super glue. I thought it smelled familiar when I bought it. I must have had that for 20 years now. Right, while we're waiting for that to go off, let us put a squirt of loveliness into these selector switches and see if we can persuade a little bit to go inside that volume control pot there. These will be quite straightforward, they're quite open, you can sort of see the switch moving back inside. So right, into the volume control. There's a hole in the back, which is most convenient. A bit of pressure behind it. Service hole, your valves are currently rubbish. It's leaking everywhere. And we shall run that up and down for a few moments. And while we've got it in parts, noting the exact position of that bias control, I am just going to give that a little berth as well. Just ease it back and forward. It's exactly there. And this one is a little more advanced. Here it gives a little crack as it moves. It's been sat in the same place for however many years. Have we got any idea of manufacturer? Shouldn't think it's got that much age to it. Have we got any date codes on anything? JRC Op Amps, Japanese radio company, I believe. 58 week of 2000 maybe? What about the electrolytics, the big ones? Have they got a marking on them? Any sort of date code? '27th week of 92. Good grief. Nearly vintage. Right. Service hole everywhere. Leaky. Service hole. Fix it. Right. Still, I suppose I buy more product that way, don't I? Okay, righty-ho. Have we effected a secure repair to this socket? Oh, it fits. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I'm passing that as a job well done. Right, we need to solder a wire on there. We'll use a bit of TCW if I could find it. Where's the tin copper wire gone? It's not where it lives. And everything at the moment is in the workshop where it lives. Oh, it is. It's right at the back. There we are. Yes, we've had a damn good tidy up in the workshop, which has made my life so much easier. And in fact, the wife came in earlier and she goes, "Good Lord, there's floor space." You never really get to see the floor, but it was pretty horrible. The reason I'm tinning this wire is it is I don't know, many years old. Look, it's even on a wooden spool, and it's got tarnished, so the tinning's not quite as good as it once was. So it does need a little refresh with the soldering iron, just to give it some encouragement. Right, I'm going to go on that end first. And I appear to be attempting to solder it to super glue. Not ideal. Rookie error. Still, it had to be done somewhere, some way, so this was the only way it was going to happen. Ah, what's warm? Funny that. And the shake's getting the better of me. Oh, it's gone. Alright, lovely. Well, I'm a little bit pleased with that. Yes, it's a bodge. In a real world, we'd be buying a new socket for it. In this world, we're not. So let's give it a run again and see if we're all good. MP3 player's gone to sleep. I suspect its battery's tired. Where are we? We are in the CD input, aren't we? Oh, fits better than the original one. Right. What have we got? Switch on. Speakers A. Bit of YouTube copyright free music. Let's see what that sounds like. Why are we on the slope? Because the feet are on the bottom of the case. I haven't been fitted yet. Well, that sounds great. So, yeah. No crackle on the volume control now. Oh, got some VIC-20 data. That's most helpful. Excellent. Let's put the bottom back on, the top back on, and give it back to Steve. And there we have it, a borderline bodgy-ish repair to this Denon PMA-450. Now sounding great. So there you go. Used to belong to Jeff, it's now going to Steve's, and I will see you very soon here on Doz's Television Workshop. Don't forget, hit like, subscribe, do all that rubbish, but I'll see you soon. Cheers now, bye. That's the bit you never get to hear on the titles.